Finally, a proposal that doesn't suggest you give up your constitutionally protected Second Amendment rights. But is it the right one? Let's talk about it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Katie Stone, and this is Stone Second. Since if you are new here, consider giving us a like, hitting that subscribe button, and maybe sharing with a friend, because we don't gatekeep the Second Amendment here. Now, Katie, what are you talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. President Donald Trump proposes hardening schools and allowing willing teachers to be armed and protect our children from would-be mass killers. Now listen up.
We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. We have great teachers.
What are your thoughts? I want to know. I know I have friends that are teachers, and or school counselors, and it's been a mixed bag of responses when it comes to things like this. I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. Now, there's a lot more. There's a larger clip that I'm going to show you later on, but I think it's very important that we talk about this right here, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that say, no, that's a horrible idea. And remember, he is saying allowing willing teachers to be armed to protect children. They're not saying they need to make all teachers carry. Just making that extremely clear. That being said, you know the gun control groups have a problem with it. Just like this one. Trained to be a teacher, not a sharpshooter. Can you guess where that came from? Pretty close. It was Moms Demand Action. And here is what they say. Yesterday, Donald Trump suggested that arming teachers as a solution to gun violence in our schools is a concept that a lot of people like. Do you like it? Let me know. I want to talk about it down in the comments. They say teachers disagree. I'm curious, if you're a teacher, do you disagree? I know it's a mixed bag, and there's some people that say yes, some people that say no. I want to hear your thoughts. They go on to say, and for good reason, there is no evidence that arming teachers prevents gun violence in our schools. They say, in fact, the opposite is true. Now, I don't know where they're getting these so-called facts. Wish they had sourced them, but I think we all know what that usually means. But let's continue. Arming teachers heightens risks of accidental shootings. Now, this is something that I want to be very clear on. The chances of accidental shooting goes down the more you train, the more you familiarize, and the more you are comfortable with your firearm. That's why I tell you all the time, training is important. Getting familiar with your firearm is extremely important. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. Escalates violence. Now, this is a key point that I think is very important. Anyone that I know that I have discussed carrying a firearm anytime with, anyone that I know that carries a firearm day to day, they wake up in the morning, they put their firearm on, and they pray. Even if some of them are not praying, a lot of them think it through their head, and they say, I really hope today's the day I don't have to use this. No one that I know ever wants to take the life of another. No one. And if you do wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I hope today's the day, you should probably seek help. I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but if you think that that would be a good thing, we might have an issue. Now, you can read the rest of it. They go on to say, 3 times higher with armed guards present. I'm sure those armed guards probably are not very prepared or well trained. It's ridiculous. And now let's just point out this one more time. They say, and research shows that death rates are nearly 3 times higher in schools with an armed guard present. I'm curious. Does that mean the armed guard has taken the target down? Is that why the death rate is higher? I'm curious. What exactly are you referring to there? I would like to know, but I'm sure I'll never know unless I can find wherever they got their facts from. That being said, let's move on to the next part. And this is a very good argument that I noticed the other day while I was filming a short, is this woman is very anti She's anti-firearm, anti-Second Amendment, but she makes a fantastic point to exactly why teachers maybe should be armed. I don't know. I just want to hear y'all's opinions. So let's see if we can find that one. This one right here. Yeah, here it is. Now I'm going to turn my sound off. You guys said there was an echo, so let me see if we can fix it this time. Let me know if you can hear this one better, all right?
Kids, we're here. I look at my kids and I'm like, okay, if anything was to happen, corner, okay, barricade, okay, but then what?
Okay, I'll turn my sound back on. That right there. Do you hear what she said? She said, corner, barricade, then what? I mean, my mind went immediately to, well, you get your firearm ready. You know, it doesn't mean you have to show it to the kids. It doesn't mean you have to do anything like that. It just means you are prepared. You have your hand near or around it, and you are completely prepared to draw that firearm and eliminate a threat if the time comes. I don't know. I may be way off here. I'm not a teacher. I do have a child, though, and I feel like it's really extremely important that I would be prepared to protect my child at all costs. And so I'm just curious, is this something that should be allowed? I mean, she's like, I'll link this in the description. You can watch her video because it's pretty outrageous. But I'm curious. I mean, she pretty much laid it out that she is distraught. She doesn't know what to do next. I don't know. I'm super curious. I know this is one of those toss-ups, like it's a mixed bag. Some people are like, yes. Some people are like, no, I could never take the life of another. And I could never, what if it was a student, or what if it was another teacher, or this or that? And I'm just curious because I don't know. It's one of those things that if it's as my child, and even some of the other children, I mean, I've babysat children back when I was really young, before I ever had kids, and I hope that if the time ever came, even if it was, you know, I don't know, I just feel like if it's me or the child, or if it's someone else or the child is always coming out alive. I feel like that is the approach that I have, and I feel like that's the approach that I hope I have if the time comes. That Trump does, because I feel like there's more information in there that makes it less forceful in a way. Let's take a look.
We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really, I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of...
That's a very good point. I would like to point out that I know that a lot of us are like, yeah, well, we can just get better doors and this and that, but that's a very good point. What if it is, you know, a teacher that went off the rails, okay? What if it is, and that teacher has a set of keys? That's another step that, hey, yeah, sure, we have locks, we have this, we have that, but, I mean, this is a coworker now. I mean, they have a set of keys, and they've locked out the police, they've locked out the responders. I mean, what then?
A lot of disadvantages to doing, you know, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children, too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it.
I'm curious, like, is this something that we would want? Or do you think that he's picking and choosing and being like, well, if you're not military, you're not law enforcement, you're not qualified? I don't know. I'm curious. Like I said, this is something that he's proposing it. I'm saying let's talk about it. Let's see if we can maybe make it better and propose it to, you know, even your local town or city or school board. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's put it in the comments. This is something that I really hope that we can come up with good ideas and maybe they'll be helpful. Let's talk about it. You guys, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Feedback is extremely welcome. I know. I hope that I solved the echo problem. I'm super curious, so you guys let me know on that as well. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you on the next one.